Hey guys, welcome to Workflow My Workload. I'm your guide Justin Orazio, and today we're going to be looking at the difference between Smartsheet versus Monday.com. Now there's been a lot of buzz about both of these platforms, so we're going to dive right into it. All right, let's get started. All right guys, now there's been a lot of buzz about Smartsheet versus Monday.com, and I've done a deep dive into both, and I don't have any affiliate with either one of these platforms, and I've used both of those multiple times, and I've realized a couple main differences between the two. And after this discussion today, you're going to find out if Smartsheet is better for you or if Monday.com is better for you. And so I'm going to break this up into 4 categories: forms, Gantt chart, automation, and dashboards. And I'm going to finish off with a few notes about both. Now, some of you may use Smartsheet and you see a lot of ads from Monday.com. Some of you may be using Monday.com and see a lot of ads for Smartsheet. And you're like, in the back of your mind, Justin, what's really the difference between the two? And if I could put it in a nutshell, Smartsheet gives you more freedom, but Monday.com is more confined and gives you more structure. It kind of Monday.com kind of takes you by the hand, so to speak, where else Smartsheet gives you the freedom. The best way to compare it, and it's probably a horrible comparison, but it'd be like Monday.com is high school, Smartsheet is college. And it just gives you the more freedom and flexibility to make changes and customizations, where Monday.com tries to help you. And so Monday.com is probably a really good platform if you're new to spreadsheets and new to project management. It takes you by the hand, walks you through it, but Smartsheet really gives you that next level experience of where you're really, to me in my mind, more freed up. But as we dive into this today, you guys can make the decision for yourself, and please comment in below which one you prefer. I'd love to see it. So right here on this screen, we have Smartsheet, and this is the home plate, if you will, the home base. And then over here, we have Monday.com, and this is their home screen as well. And as I mentioned before, we're going to be looking at 4 components for each of these. That's going to be forms, Gantt chart, automation, and dashboards. So let's go and start with Smartsheet, and let's go into forms. So the forms here in Smartsheet look like this. And if you're already familiar with Smartsheet, you know all the things you can do in the form. The form right here, I won't go into all the details of forms themselves. I have other videos for that. But just to kind of give you a difference between the two, when you're creating forms within Smartsheet, your options are on the left here and on the right. So when you click on one of these options here, this is where you can make your changes. If you want to add things, you do it from here on the left. And obviously for each question in your form, you have your text, contacts, your emails, dates, drop down, pretty self-explanatory. And on Monday.com side of things, when you go to a form, it looks like this. It's more simple, right? And you don't have anything on the left or on the right. So whatever you click on, that's what you can change. Now, one thing I did notice about Monday.com is once you pick something, you can't change it. And so right now, this is a short text question. I can't change it to a multi. I'm stuck with it. Can't do anything else with it. So you're going to have to delete it if you don't want it. We'll go here. We'll add something here. So this is where you can add, again, everything is in the center here. So if I want like a multi-select, I can select it here, do my description, the title, the sub, and then the options that I want for my multi drop-down. So like, let's say bananas, grapes, apples. Choose if I want it required or not required. And that's it. Okay, so over here in Smartsheet, same thing. But if I wanted to change it, like so this is a simple text right here. I can change it though to multi without having to delete it. It will automatically change to a multi-select. All right, now it's a multi-select. And again, if you're not familiar with forms in either one of these platforms, I have an entire video specifically on forms for Smartsheet that you can view, and I will put that link down below so you guys can view that as well. So again, as far as things you can do with both of them, they're pretty much the same. The navigation's just completely different. And again, Monday.com is holding your hand. Smartsheet gives you more freedom. So if you want something that's going to just help you just get through, just try to knock out what you're trying to do, then Monday.com is very good for you. If you want something that's more flexibility, more freedom, you want to explore, you want to take something to the next level, then it's going to be Smartsheet. All right, so again, all the options that you got. So this is Monday.com. Country, location. So this is something interesting. So Monday.com offers a thing where you can put in a location, a question for that. So what is your location? And then when people start typing in a city or a country, it will actually populate. So like if we preview this, so we can fill it out. What is your location? If I start typing in Seattle, see right here, it comes up. So Smartsheet does not offer this option, only Monday.com. All right, so enough of forms, let's get into Gantt charts. So we'll start with Smartsheet. So with Smartsheet, I'm going to open up the Gantt chart here. So this is a sample I created. I've actually used it in a separate video. And for those of you who are not familiar with Gantt charts, they're very, very useful in project management. And I also have a video specifically on Gantt charts that you can click on the link below. All right, so you have your projects, you have your parent row and your child row, and so your subtask here, so concrete, framing, walls, plumbing. I used a construction example because most people understand at least the basics of construction, of building a building. And so you have your start date, your finish date, who it's assigned to. And then over here, this row, so for instance, concrete cast in place, west wing pour, so west wing pouring concrete, it's for 10 days. And it shows right here, it's for 10 days. It's the length of 10 days. And the parent row here, the dark orange, is every one of these tasks subbed up. So you got 10 days, 5 days, 6 days, a total of 21 days. And Smartsheet has it set up where it's automatically tallies this. So if I change this to 11 days, this will change to 22. See? And then automatically adjust it over here as well. And as things progress or things getting complete, this bar will slowly fill up. And you have your baseline. Again, if you don't know what baselines are, I have a video on that I can also drop in the link below. And it's pretty self-explanatory. You can also play with this. And you can drag it out if you want. You can move your arrow around. So I can grab my arrow here. Grab your arrow around, so on and so forth. And when you start, this is something interesting that Smartsheet does that Monday.com cannot do. When you assign it to somebody, say you want to just add somebody completely new. We'll just say Jerry. Someone already got that. Let's say Billy Bob Mason. And say his email is abc123@gmail.com. Click OK. He's automatically added in there. Monday.com cannot do that. And I'll explain. So Monday.com Gantt chart, this is what theirs looks like. And we have our parent rows or child rows. And as you notice right away, the only thing that's visible is what's been typed in. So back over to Smartsheet. This is an entire spreadsheet. You have all these cells and then cells underneath as well that you can add on. But Monday.com doesn't give you any of that. Some people say it takes away the clutter. Other people feel like they're confined. Again, it's completely up to you how you feel. So if you want to add more tasks, you can do that through here. But so the same thing here, you can drag and drop, you can extend out, and it's as far as what you can do, it's pretty much the same as Smartsheet. But one thing I've noticed, and we're going to go to the table here. So this is how you bounce back and forth between the Gantt chart and then actually wanting to do something with the tasks. So Smartsheet has it where you can mess with both at the same time. You have this divider right here. But Monday.com, you have to kind of bounce in between. All right, so one thing I've noticed as well is when you're adding in a contact and you want to invite a new member, you actually have to send an email to that person, which I don't like, because sometimes you're building out a plan and you don't want other people to see it until it's built out, until it's complete. And so you always have to invite somebody before you can add a new contact. And that's something that I personally don't like. Some people may like that. I personally don't. And it's the same thing. You have your start date, your end date, experience out. One thing I do like with the Gantt chart and Monday.com is you can bounce out and you can bounce closer in just by the click of a button. And you can also auto fit, so it consolidates it all in a good view, in the view that it thinks is best for you. For its baseline, it has its baseline as well. I've noticed it's beta, which is interesting. Smartsheet is completely built out. Baseline and Monday.com is a beta version. So that's one thing that's interesting, which tells me they're still working on that. But from what I've messed with it, it works just fine. All right, so we are done with Gantt charts. Now let's move on to automation. So in automation, move this here. Let's go ahead and do use automation for this worksheet right here in Smartsheet. So in Smartsheet Automation, we'll go and create a new one from the template. So it gives you all these templates that you can do for an automation. And this is not only all of your options. You have many more options you can do with this. This is just helpful hints and helpful templates for automation. But when you want to create one from scratch, like I'll do right here, it's pretty much endless. So we'll say when any of these fields change, we'll say when project number is added, it will alert someone. Or I can change it to where it will change a cell value, right? Or it can do it where it will lock that row, it will unlock that row, it will move that row, it will copy that row. So when you move a row, it actually moves that entire row of information to another sheet. When you copy a row, it moves a row and its entire information into another sheet, plus keeps it on the current sheet as well. You record dates, pretty self-explanatory. You can assign people, so on and so forth. Sorry, my dog in the background's getting into some toys and keeping an eye on him there. All right, so there's that. And as you add stuff, you can just keep adding actions, right? And just keep moving on forward and forward. You can even add conditioning where I want this workflow to be triggered unless something specific happens. Otherwise, it's going to continue going forward. When you send up like an update request or an email, you can do customizations, like when they receive the email notification, it will give them a specific title. For instance, you created a project and you want Billy Bob Thornton to get a notification, but you don't want it just to ding, hey, you got a notification. You want a message to go with it. You can say Billy Bob Thornton, new project has been created. And this is the message that he always gets when that workflow is triggered. And you can even add a custom message down below, or when you do 2 brackets and you put in project name or whatever the name of that column is, it will actually populate the information specifically in that row. It's pretty cool stuff. And if you have any questions on automations, I'm building out some videos for you guys for automations to walk you through that so you know how to use that. All right, so that is automation in Smartsheet. Let's take a look. All right, so here's the automation for Monday.com. And so it's gonna be right here, automate. And it doesn't really give you an option. Like it starts out with this. You can do automation activity. You can look at that. Automation center. And so here it gives you the templates, but you have to read through each one. It doesn't give you a quick picture of what it does. And again, it's holding your hand, right? It's putting you in a box, kind of confining you, but you can't mess it up. It's just taking you step by step what you want to do. So let's create a custom automation, and this is it. This is what it gives you. So click here, picks one of the columns that are already in the sheet. Let's say a person assigned. Then I want it to move this. Move item to group, change status, notify, send email, create update, assign another person. So these are the only options it gives you. Click more options, gives you a few more over here. And it gives you pretty good options. But again, it's just kind of step-by-step thing. And it's kind of doing it in a sentence format, which some people prefer that. Some people don't. But anyway, I'll walk you through that. I got my dog here by my feet. That's why you hear him breathing and his happy tail hitting the wall here. Okay. All right. So here's also categories for their automations, which is nice that Monday.com gives you. And that is automation for Monday.com. So we can build one out real quick if you want. We can do something where we change the status. We'll do this one. So that one's not even really working. Let's not do that one. Let's do a notification. Contains value of 12. Notify person. And we'll do a team member. We'll do Bob Redmill. Add it to the board. And that is your notification for Monday.com. All right, so we've covered forms, Gantt charts, and automation. Last thing is dashboards. All right, so Smartsheet dashboard. This is just a very, very basic dashboard I created in Smartsheet for you guys. And if you hover your mouse over it, it tells you what each option is for the percentage that you're looking at. And if you want to create, you go to edit, add a widget. And these are all your options here. So you have metrics, you have a chart, which obviously what these are right here. Shortcuts, so you have URL links, reports that you can attach to this, title, rich text, web content, so like a YouTube video or a link to a website, and just plain old images. And you also have the option, just like Monday.com, where if you click on this option, you click on the actual picture, it will take you right to that Smartsheet item, or it will take you somewhere else if you want it to direct the person to another page when they click on this button here. And Monday.com also has dashboard, and pretty similar, as you can tell. And when you click on it, it takes you right to the data. but that's it. It takes you right to the data when you click on it. It does not give you the option to take you somewhere else, which I found pretty interesting. And you can edit and change it here, just like you can here in Smartsheet. But again, Monday.com holds your hand. And Smartsheet gives you more flexibility, more freedom. So maybe Monday.com is a good option for you starting out with your company. And Smartsheet is maybe next level after your company grows with you. And maybe it depends on your personality, maybe the personality of your team. Maybe they prefer Monday.com. That is perfectly fine. Maybe you want the feeling of more freedom, the less confinement, and you can build out whatever you want without anybody holding your hand and kind of confining you in a box. Smartsheet is your best option. Again, Monday.com and Smartsheet are both great, wonderful tools, but Monday.com, again, gears towards people who just want to get the work as simple as possible and get it done and move on with their life. Smartsheet is more for someone who wants to grow a department, to create new things that haven't been created yet before within their department, and then implement that project management style. Both are very easy to use, I have found. Both are very different as far as it goes with navigating on the site. But again, that's your snapshot, Smartsheet.com and Smartsheet versus Monday.com. Both wonderful products. I'm really curious to see what you guys think of each of them, and I look forward to seeing your comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my site. And again, I have free content for you guys. I've created some free lessons, absolutely free for you guys to understand how to use project management. I've created one for Smartsheet. So if you click on the link below in the bio, you'll get a 45 free lesson, absolutely free, of knowing how to utilize Smartsheet. And I have some courses coming out here very soon within the next few weeks where it's an entire course from start to finish on how to utilize these programs. This one right now that I'm building out specifically for Smartsheet. So if you couldn't tell already, I'm a little lenient more towards Smartsheet than I am than Monday.com. Both wonderful platforms. But again, I'm excited to see what you guys choose in the comments below. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. Take care and God bless.